Running MySQL on Termux. This tutorial will walk you through setting up MySQL on your Android device using Termux and the MySQL for Termux package. So you will learn how to install MySQL, create databases, make entries, and run basic SQL queries, all from your mobile device. The first thing is to ensure that Termux is installed on your device. I have mine already, but if you don't, just go to the Play Store and look for the app Termux. Termux. Then you open it, install it if you don't have yours installed. I just opened mine. Then you start by updating the package references and also upgrading the package versions. I advise my students to do this first. So that will be pkg, then update, pkg update, pass the y flag just in case. Then just give it some time depending on your internet speed also. So now to upgrade the package versions, pkg upgrade, upgrade, then you bring up the y flag. Okay, so just give it some time as well. You can see mine is upgraded. So there's this command that if you open the description, you will see the command there. Just copy it and paste it into the terminal. So I have mine already here. So just copy this, copy this, then go back to the terminal and basically paste it. Okay, so this is going to install everything that you will need to run SQL on your device. So just give it some time for it to install. You can see the download size, the space needed, and all that. So this will take some time depending on your internet speed as well. So this will just give it some time. So when it gets to this particular point, you are going to have to set it to no restrictions. Okay, so set it to no restrictions. The interface you will see to select that on your end might be different because of the difference in the type of Android we operate, but just make sure that you set your battery to not use battery saver, no restrictions in battery usage. So as you can see, he created a new folder called MySQL for Termux, and he did basically cd MySQL for Termux by default. So you can see the directory that I'm currently in. So if I should list out all the files I have in this directory, you will see startclient.sh, startserver.sh. Okay, and if you look at some few lines of logged data to the console, you will see my SQL server started successfully. So at this point, the server is on. Okay, the MySQL server is on, but now we need to create an interface with which we will interact with the database. So we start the client. Okay, so the server is the MySQL instance running in the background. The client is what gives you the interface to interact with the MySQL server. So I want to start the client, which is a MariaDB interface. So what will I do? Just if you want to set the password, you can also use setpass.sh, but I'll just leave it as the default, which is basically no password. So if you want to start the server, maybe you are coming back to the your Termux, and maybe after you put your phone off and all those things, and you want to start the server again, just then start server .sh. Okay, but my server is up already, so I don't want to start server. What I want to do is to start the client. So start client. Okay, start client, don't forget .sh. So if I should run this, it is asking me for password. Enter just enter, and you can see if you want to set your password, you can just use the setpass command, setpass.sh, but I'll just leave mine as the default for now. So if you notice something, it is giving me a MariaDB interface. Okay, and you can see currently the selected database is none, as you can see in the line, in the last line here, MariaDB none. So at this moment, no database is selected. No database is selected. So to verify the authenticity of this particular database that we have, I can do something like select, no, select the version. Okay, then no, close. Don't forget you have to terminate the SQL command using a semicolon. So you can see what I have now. The version 11.8.2 MariaDB. That is what I'm running currently on my Termux installation. So to show all the data, to list all the databases that we have currently by default, so you can do something like this: show databases. Okay, show databases. Then don't forget to terminate it with this. So you can see information schema, MySQL, performance schema, the normal test databases that comes with MariaDB or SQL when you run it. So let's just do something basic. Let's create a database and call it testdb. You can see that at this moment what we have is just test. Okay, so let's just create a database and call it testdb. So create database, then I'll call it test underscore db. Then don't forget to terminate the statement. So you can see query okay, one row affected. So let me run this show databases once more. You see, I now have testdb. Initially, I wasn't having testdb, but now I have testdb. So let me use that testdb now. Okay, let me use testdb. How can I do that? So use test underscore db. Use testdb. So don't forget to terminate your statement. Now database has changed. Now I have testdb. Okay, so to show you that this queries actually work fine, I will simply create a database table. Then we try to insert some data into it, then we'll select the data and basically exit the database. Okay, so to verify that, let's run some just test SQL database queries. So I'll start by creating a new database table. So I will do something like this: create table, and the name of this table will be users. Okay, so for this users, now the fields of interest, I have ID, and this ID is going to be an integer. This integer will be the primary key. It will as well auto increment. Okay, please make sure that these things are spelled correctly. Then we also have the name field. This name field is going to be a text field, text, and it's going to be not null. Then the last field, I can just add email. So this email field is going to be a text field as well, but it will be unique. Okay, to be unique for every entry. So let me close the bracket and terminate the SQL command. So run this. Oh, sorry, in MariaDB, this is supposed to be int auto increment then primary key. So this is supposed to be int then auto underscore increment, auto increment, then you have primary key. Okay, so run it. Okay, so you can see now the new database table for users have been created. Okay, and it was created inside the testdb database. So basically, for us to show the tables that we have, we can just use tables show tables. Don't forget to terminate it. So you can see currently in the test tables in testdb, you can see we have the users table in test db. So moving on, I want to insert some data into this particular database table. How can I do that? I will be inserting two different entries into the database table at the same time. So I can do something like this: insert into users. Okay, insert into users, name, email. Then I'll close this. Now the values. Insert into users, name, email, then the values. Now for the first entry, so I'm going to be having Alice. For the email, Alice at alice.net. Then close this, close the bracket. Now start another entry. For this new entry, I can be having Barry. So for the email, I'll be having Barry at newmail. Okay, at newmail.net or something like that. Then don't forget to close this and close this. So now terminate the SQL command, then run it. You see, two rows affected, um two records have been added to the database. How can I verify that these records have been added truly? Just select all. I'll bring in the wildcard, select all from users. Okay, so terminate the SQL command once more. You can see now I have Alice and I have Barry. So that is it basically. We've been able to create a database, create some entries, and do all that. So for me to now exit, basically I'll just run exit, and that is it, and that will be all for this tutorial on how you can run SQL commands on your Android Termux. So thank you very much for staying till the end. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.